Tonight on the Fanatic Forum, we're going to polish up our crystal balls and look into the future that is 2023 and see what good there is to come. But first, we're going to watch this good thing. Hey everybody, happy Friday and welcome to the Fanatic Forum. I'm your Fanatic and host, George Buehler. Hope you all are having a good one so far. We are on the cusp of the new year here. We got, a couple more days left of the old 2022. So I know it's been interesting for some people, rough for others, but hopefully it hasn't been too bad. Things have been generally good for you. If not, hopefully things will get better in the new year. So we always look on that. So, of course, hope everyone had a nice Christmas. I sure did over here at the old domicile. My wife got me some really cool, because, I love my novelty T-shirts here. So you're going to be seeing some new ones here on the show, much like the old Spatula City here. And if you know this, I love you already. All right. So anywho, so we've got a whole bunch of cool comics to show off this week. Plus, like I said, we're going to be looking into next year, some things to look forward to, a lot of movies, a lot of Marvel shows. And then, of course, if you guys have anything you're looking forward to, any shows, any movies, any form of media, frankly, because we kind of cover all that here on the forum, just let us know. Yeah, love to have it on here. Love to, have you, chime in and tell us what you're looking forward to. So, and of course, if this is your first time on here, we here on the Fanatic Forum, we love to celebrate all things geek. Of course, I'm a super geek myself. I've been a comic book reader for over 40 years. Yeah, been a long time. Anyway, I'm also big into TV, movies, video games, pro wrestling, all sorts of geek stuff here. So, I love to share my passions with you guys, and I want you to share yours with me. And of course, share with the rest of the audience here. Share these videos on Facebook, on YouTube. Tell your friends, tell your family, tell everybody here. We want to have everybody join the forum here. Anywho, so got all kinds of cool stuff to show off here. Now, one book I got last week, but I didn't get this cover, but it's a variant, and I had to pick this one up here. But Stuff of Nightmares, #4. Look at this awesome Castlevania tribute here. I mean, every detail was spared. Look at that. Just, I got the labels on here. Looks like it's, straight out of a Nintendo game here. Of course, Castlevania being one of my all-time favorites. So, of course, that's not a whip. Unfortunately, those are human entrails. But hey, what can you do? I absolutely love Stuff of Nightmares. Fantastic book. A retelling, at least the first 4 issues, were a retelling of the classic Reanimator story, of course, which is based on an H.P. Lovecraft story, written by R.L. Stine. So that was pretty cool. And though this is the end of the first volume, maybe there's a tease for more to come. So hopefully that will be the case. Next up, of course, we got a bunch of indies this week to talk about here. This is a big book this week here for House of Something is Killing the Children fans here. This is Book of Slaughter. Now, originally I thought this was going to be some sort of a tie-in sort of thing like that. It's a little bit of this, but it's also kind of builds upon the mythology of the Something is Killing the Children universe itself here. You learn a lot about the Order of St. George. The Book of Slaughter basically is part of the kind of manual, so to speak, of the Order of St. George, in the particular House of Slaughter, which sits in the Chicago area. You learn a lot more about the differences of the different masks people have and the symbolism of the teeth on there. But of course, you're introduced to a fairly new character here, Maxine, who's first and foremost right up here. And she has a difficult choice of whether or not she wants to be a white mask or a black mask as the hunters go. And basically, if you don't really know the book too much, these hunters are all monster hunters derived from the Order of Saint George, as in the classic, Saint George the Dragon biblical story. The different orders, though, or different masks, especially the white and the black, signify a different type of hunter. The white masks are pack hunters. You hunt with multiple people. The blacks, you're solo. It's a much tougher road to hoe, so some would consider them to be, much tougher of these standard hunters. Now, of course, there are different other masks of more elite hunters. You've got the silver, which are kind of like specialists. They specialize in certain types of mythology, so maybe you got some that are specifically vampire hunters and sort of thing like that. The really cool ones, though, are the green masks, because those guys are the dragon hunters. And those are few and far between because really, apparently, there's not many dragons left in the world. But yeah, it's really, really cool stuff there. So nice expanding on the world of something that's killing the children. But of course, a lot of this is going to be tying in more than likely to something that's killing the children, the main title, and also to the House of Slaughter book as well, which is kind of more of a anthology. Kind of get to know different other people within the houses, different, different other masks. Of course, there's the other, different types of masks that aren't hunters, the Scarlet and the Azure. The Scarlets are kind of the housekeepers, so to speak, not like they're all butlers or anything like that, but they take care of things. They manage the library, manage the records, sort of thing like that. And then the Azure masks, they are basically, used to be apparently like in the ancient times, they were the weaponsmiths. And then now in modern times, they're the hackers, basically. They keep news off, the internet, off the main media streams. They, have their fingers in all sorts of pies, be it social, political, law enforcement, whatever the case may be. They're just, the Azure masks are really cool. But yeah, like I said, just very, like I said, a very interesting sort of mythology that something is killing the children about. And so the Book of Slaughter there really expands on it. Hey, Ryan Permisson's on here. Happy holidays and Happy New Year. Good to see you, sir. Of course, if you guys are not familiar with Mr. Ryan Permisson, he is also a member of the, almost said Book of Slaughter, the Back of the Cereal Box Network. His shows, and I quote, which is part of Nerd Culture. Then, of course, he has got comic books, the New Class, Back Issue Breakfast Club on occasion. So, yeah, Ryan's all over the place. So check. Froze up a little bit. And you're very welcome for the support there, Ryan. My pleasure. All right. So next couple of books here, got to show you here. I've absolutely been loving the new Creep Show series that Image has been putting out, and it's very much in, it's an anthology horror book, all the kind of stuff you love about that. This particular issue, number 4 here, has 2 tales in here. One that basically deals with vampires, a very, very cool story. And the other one is one of my favorite subjects, pro wrestling, which also led me to get this variant cover right here, which definitely ties into the second story here. So, yeah, very demonic Rey Mysterio mask. Anywho, so, yeah, all kinds of creep show fun, throw in a little bit of wrestling and vampires. Good stuff. Excuse me. Okay, a couple more indies I got to share. Issue 2 of Door to Door, Night by Night, coming out of Vault and their Nightfall imprint, which is their horror imprint. This is such a fun book here. Basically, you've got door-to-door salesmen who essentially sort of become aware of monsters in the world and become monster hunters. So very much kind of reminds me of Supernatural TV show, but not so much the Winchester brothers, the other hunters like Bobby and basically everybody else. So it's kind of what this group reminds me of. Basically, people you wouldn't necessarily expect to be, purveyors of good and protectors of the night, sort of thing like that. But yeah, this is a ragtag band of misfits here. So, but yeah, some really cool stuff. Highly recommend checking that one out. Second issue here of Once Upon a Time at the End of the World, Jason Aaron's new book, also coming out of Boom here. This has just been a really cool post-apocalyptic story here, and it's kind of a new take on things because it's, it seems to be like some sort of ecological or natural disaster that caused the end of the world and everybody to die off, or at least the majority of people to die off. Lots of mutated monsters here, but basically what we've got is a young girl who's become quite a survivor. Maybe she's got some better training to basically, being able to go through this wasteland. And she stumbles upon a young man who basically has never been outside the house, has all sorts of technical know-how, seems to be a good builder of things, but he's basically a walking liability once he gets outside. So lots of adventure fun here. A little bit of kind of some budding romance, possibly. A bit of a fairy tale sort of feel to it, but still a really, really cool book. I'm really enjoying it. And so kind of a nice little bit of different pace for Jason Aaron stuff. Because, of course, we're normally used to him doing all sorts of the superhero stuff, especially his run on Avengers right now. So, yeah, nice change of pace for this one here. A couple of DC books I want to share with you guys. Of course, the finale for DC versus Vampires, number 12 here. A great cover here. Of course, this is James Tynion IV and Matthew Rosenberg are the creatives on this one here. Absolutely been loving this story here. Just when you think it's over, maybe we might get another volume here. But it kind of seems like things aren't entirely wrapped up just yet. They do put a bit of a bow on things here, and not the ending you would think. So, yeah, definitely worth a look if you've not checked out the series. But, yeah. And of course, there's a supplementary series that comes with it called All Out War, which is really cool gimmick because they do that in red, white, and black ink for all the art on that one there. But that's, of course, another sort of suicide squadish sort of group, kind of supplementing what's going on in the DC versus Vampires world. And, of course, you kind of, it sets you up for, things are going to end poorly, but let's see what kind of effect they have anyway. So, more DC books here to check out. The final issue of Nice House on the Lake, another James Tynion book here. I've absolutely loved this very, very weird tale. Sort of, if you are big fans of Lost, other kind of weird end of the world sort of stuff, but not your typical horror, scary sort of stuff like that, but definitely some weird stuff going on here. Again, you think this is the end of the book here. It's not. This is the end of book one. There is more to come because kind of halfway you get through the issue, and I'm like, there's no way they're going to wrap this up about another 10, 12 pages on here. And then suddenly it's like, oh, yeah, there you go. So, Dave, man, good to see you on here talking about Once Upon a Time in the World, a walking liability once he goes outside. That's me. Well, just don't go outside then. So, stay indoors. There you go. It's safer there. Oh, it's really nice outside right now. So I would recommend checking that out. Last on the DC docket here, this was a cool little compendium here going way, way back, kind of in the, I think, late 90s, early 2000s. But Stan Lee decided he wanted to have a little bit of experiment to go and reinvent classic DC characters as only he would do them. And this is the new Tales from Earth-6, a celebration of Stan Lee. Because, of course, as we know, Stan Lee would have turned 100 this year, which is amazing. Actually, very recently, he would have turned 100. So this is a celebration of his take on basically all the classics. The wrapper I covered too, by the way, which is really cool. All the classic, DC characters, but completely reinvented. Like, this is Superman. We have Wonder Woman here. This is Sandman. And let's see. Here's the Flash, Green Lantern, Batman, which actually, hey, he's actually looks like a bat. And then the most crazy reinvention, that's Shazam, the big demon character right there. So this is basically a collection of tales here, covering all these characters plus a JLA tale. So again, a nice little reinvention, lots of fun. Some of the stories are better than others, but nonetheless, it kind of depends on who some of your favorite characters are. So check it out. I would recommend it. Sandra Noel, good to see you. Thank you very much. Yeah, I've always wanted a Spatula City t-shirt because I'm a huge Weird Al fan. So, yeah, they're actually, and I've got another cool UHF reference shirt too that I'm very excited to show off in the near future. So, yeah, so thank you, Sandra. And let's see here. Stan's take on Bruce Wayne, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Oh, yeah. Yeah, those were the amalgam stuff. Yeah, that was really cool. Love the Bruce Wayne Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. Of course, there's a lot of other cool books that whole run. A couple of Marvel things to show off here. Dave, you'll love this one here. New issue of Moon Knight, number 18. Kind of wrapping things up for the whole Moon Knight versus the vampires story here that he's been doing recently. A great ending. Yeah, probably one of the best vampire kills I've seen in a while. And yeah, all right here on the page of this book. Don't want to spoil too much here. And of course, we get a little bit of a taste of what's to come for Mr. MK here. But yeah, a fantastic Moon Knight issue. Highly recommend checking that out. Of course, Jed McKay has been killing it. Word around the campfire is that once Jason Aaron wraps up his run on Avengers, which will be probably early 2023. It's not quite done just yet, but it's getting pretty close to being wrapped up. But word is that Jed McKay might get Avengers. So that guy has been killing it lately at Marvel, giving lots of good titles, lots of good spotlights on characters that may have not had the best spotlights on them or best usage or whatever else. So yeah, I mean, if Jed's gets the book, I'm excited about it. Hopefully we get a good art team on there because those are my boys. So Dave said that it's all about that moonlight. Yeah, a Moon Knight. Yes, sir. My, where did you get that lovely spatula? Hi, I'm Cy Greenblue, president of Spatula City. I love the spatula so much, I bought the company. Oh, love it. Thank you, Mr. Johnny. Shared, thank you very much, sir. And of course, if you guys don't know, John Pica, who is the purveyor of all things back of the cereal box, the prophet of pop culture, as he calls himself here, gotta check out his show, Back of the Cereal Box, every Saturday morning, 9 a.m. Eastern. Though, of course, I do occasionally pop in on that one, but yeah. It's a lovely show, lots of fun. Johnny talks about all kinds of things, nostalgia. They do cereal taste tests. Unboxing of stuff, showing off toys and whatever else. So it's lots of nostalgia fun. Check it out. So, oh no, I got a drink from the fire hose. Oh, Stanley Spadowski. All right, last of my Marvel docket here. I got to show off the new time list for this year. Of course, this is a tradition that started last year, that Kang gets a one-shot at the end of the year because he's got some sort of, mission that he is on. But, of course, we get a little bit of a taste of maybe what's to come for the Marvel Universe for 2023. But the big thing is that Kang is looking for something called the missing moment. We don't know what that is, but apparently it is the one point in time that Kang cannot travel for reasons that are basically because he is a bad guy. So, of course, that may be a little more complex than that, but it's kind of what it boils down to. So apparently he needs a team of heroes to help him on his mission. And apparently that team of heroes may very well be the Avengers. So, yeah. And notice that retro logo there, folks. That may not be an accident. So, again, very exciting things coming for 2023 for the Avengers. And, of course, lots of other good stuff here. Oh, hang on. I got one more UHF reference. One more here. Today, we are teaching poodles how to fly. All right, Fluffy, fly. Oh, man. If you guys haven't been able to tell, I love UHF. Great movie. Of course, the new Weird Al movie, Weird, fantastic. Absolutely love it. I've seen it 3 times. Take the kids. Well, you can't really take them anywhere. It's on Roku. But all right, well, take them on the couch and then watch them. Anyway, great movie. Check it out. Johnny saying, if Jed takes the Avengers, expect to see a quirky team with Moon Knight, Mockingbird, Tiger, and Spider-Man. That's a possibility. And frankly, I'm not opposed to quirky teams. Al Ewing's two little mini-series runs on Avengers, No Surrender, and I can't remember what the other one was. It No Road Home or something like that. Both of those were fun. Those were quirky teams of Avengers. Brian Michael Bendis' run on Avengers had kind of, characters like they weren't really quirky, but kind of basically taking characters that never really been Avengers, like Spider-Man and Wolverine and the Sentry, bringing them in, and also kind of using other characters maybe haven't been, utilized very popularly. So, again, if he brings in a kind of a different team, of course, you got to have the three core, Captain America, Thor, and Iron Man. But if it's surrounded by some other new, different members, I'm all about it. So, Dave saying, not many people know this, but turtles are nature's suction cups. Okay, that's the last UHF reference, I promise. Oh, that was fun. All right, so we are going to take a break just for a second here to acknowledge our sponsors and friends. But when we get back, we're going to, like I said, get our crystal balls all shined up real nice and see what's coming up for 2023. We'll be right back.
Comic Books for Kids provides comic books to kids in hospitals and cancer centers across the U.S. It's a place where we can all work together to make sure every child has a comic book. 100% of all proceeds go towards the kids. It's about making a difference, and while they're in the hospital, allowing them to fly like a superhero, battle dragons, or rescue teddy bears. We are in every state in the country and now support over 160 hospitals. Every month, we add more.
Visit cb4k.org.
The Multiverse Fundraiser is a virtual fandom jamboree and a charity fundraiser all rolled into one package. We're not just raising funds for a good cause, we're raising fun. Our 2023 event will be supporting the John Ritter Foundation for Aortic Health, which exists to spread awareness of aortic health and prevent unnecessary suffering through genetic research, widespread education, and radical advocacy. Our fundraiser combines celebrity panels, fandom-based panels, indie creators, and all of the fun of a virtual con for free. There's a little something for everyone while we support a cause close to our heart. Join us on January 20th through 22nd, along with celebrity guests Amy Yazbek, Jason Bear, Chris Gaucher, Victor Garber, William Catt, Cress Williams, Beth Broderick, Armin Shimmerman, Guy Gilchrist, Carrie Schaefer, Brian Hull, Amy Carrero, Jennifer Cody, and Joyce DeWitt.
And we're back. All right. I'm getting very excited about the Multiverse fundraiser coming up here, January 20th through the 22nd. I've got, of course, my show is going to be appearing a little earlier. It's going to be appearing at 5 p.m. Eastern on that particular weekend, but just a one weekend sort of thing there. But of course, there's a couple of interviews that weekend that I'm going to be sitting in on and producing that I'm really excited about checking out. Of course, Cress Williams and William Catt. Love those guys. Of course, Cress, it was in Black Lightning, lots of other shows. Of course, I loved him in Living Single as well. So yeah, I remember that show from the 90s. But then, of course, William Catt, great movies like House. But then, of course, he was the greatest American hero. So yeah, that's fun stuff for me. So looking forward to that. Of course, for my episode of Fanatic Forum during that weekend, I'm trying to get something together here. So we'll see who I bring to the table. So it might be a surprise guest. Anywho, so stuff to look forward to for next year. Because, there's a lot of cool movies coming out. And, of course, some, at least some TV shows we're aware of here. Of course, with the Marvel stuff, it's kind of sketchy. Some things have been kind of changing. We're supposed to expect an Echo show next year, which, of course, her spinoff from Hawkeye. But looks like production may be having some difficulties, so maybe that show's going to get delayed. So we'll see. But things we know definitely are coming up for next year, coming up very, very soon, February 17th. So we're not too terribly far away. It'll be here before we know it. Ant-Man and the Wasp in Quantumania. I can't wait for this one here because, of course, Kang is supposedly the bad guy in this one here. He's one of my favorite bad guys in the Marvel Universe. So getting his proper introduction here. So really, really looking forward to this one coming out. And then one thing we also know that's coming out next year for Disney Plus will be a second season of Loki. I have a very good feeling that we are going to see at least the first couple of episodes of Loki before Ant-Man comes out in February. Just because, from what we know from the end of season 1 for Loki, things have changed in his particular timeline, and the TVA has been definitely changed, and who is in charge looks a bit familiar, very much like, this guy right here. Yeah, so we shall see how that all's going to work out. But yeah, so very excited about Ant-Man and the Wasp coming out next year. We don't have a date yet on season 2 of Loki, but like I said, I would stake my reputation on it that we're going to see at least the first couple episodes of season 2 before we get to Ant-Man. So it's supposed to be a winter show, so we will see here. All right, coming up, of course, in May will be Volume 3 of Guardians of the Galaxy, and of course, this is the last ride for the crew. Now, of course, what's the new? I think the new ship's called the Ziggy or the Stardust or something like that. Another David Bowie reference. But yeah, a different ship that they've been on for the past couple of movies. So yeah, of course, there are all kinds of new things there. Of course, we'll see a lot more Kraglin. Possibly Cosmo will be involved in the new movie. Of course, we saw her a little bit in the holiday special, which was fantastic. But yeah, of course, we're going to have Adam Warlock making his debut in this movie. The High Evolutionary is the villain. Of course, hopefully we kind of tie things up with kind of the different version of Gamora. She's not dead. They say they brought her back from an earlier point in the timeline. So essentially it was before she became a Guardian. So she's maybe learned to lighten up a little bit because she's no longer a daughter of Thanos, so to speak. But, it's not the same Gamora that Peter once kind of fell in love with and became part of the Guardians family. So we'll see here. And, of course, we get to see the Abnett and Lanning era of the comics. Those uniforms, the navy blue leather ones, the full, the kind of real dressy-looking ones. Yeah, those are cool uniforms. So we'll hopefully see those I don't know. I hope it's not just like a one-shot thing. It's just kind of, like that's what they end up donning for most of the movie. So those are awesome. Of course, coming out later in the summer will be the Marvels, the Captain Marvel series, or the sequel, which, of course, will also have Kamala Khan, Ms. Marvel in this one, and, of course, Monica Rambeau, who I think she's going to take the name Spectrum, or it's either Spectrum or Photon, one of the two. But, yeah, that's going to be her official name. But, yeah, we can see how all those ladies are sort of tied together with their various abilities. Right now, no details as to, who the villain is, anything like that. But, of course, we know they're filming it right now, so we will see. Another show I'm looking really forward to for Disney Plus for next year, Secret Invasion. Of course, this is going to be very much a spy show. Nick Fury gets front and center on this one here, and things are a little different for Nick. He's apparently been off-world and may have possibly been off-world during the whole snap and the blip sort of thing. So, maybe the version of him that got snapped away may have been, Ben Mendelsohn's character. I can't remember his name. Anyway, Talos. Yeah. That may have been Talos that got snapped away. So, yeah, I'm very anxious to see this one and how kind of this great Marvel Comics story gets retold for the MCU. So, yeah, looking very forward to that one here. Of course, like I said, we're going to definitely see a season 2 of Loki. Not sure when, but I got a feeling that's going to be much earlier. Then apparently a summer show will be Ironheart, because if you've seen Black Panther Wakanda Forever, you've been introduced to Ironheart, and we'll get more of her story and further adventures and later on in the year. So looking very forward to that one. So that's a definite for next year. And then 4 other shows that may be possibilities. We're not 100% just yet, but they're apparently on the schedule for next year. Of course, we have the animated X-Men 97, which is a direct sequel to the classic 90s X-Men show. Literally, it's the first episode will be kind of spinning right off of the final episode of the classic 90s series. They've shown a little bit of images during Comic-Con of kind of what to expect a little bit. So We're going to get some great storylines. Plus, Magneto is now a member of the X-Men, and he dons some of his 80s gear. So looking very forward to that. Another season of What If. Looking very, very forward to that because I love the first season. Apparently later in the year, a winter for, I guess, probably closer to Christmas, Agatha Coven of Chaos. So that should be a lot of fun. I know there's been a lot of cast members recently added. Aubrey Plaza has been one. Very excited about that because I love Aubrey Plaza. And then, of course, like I said earlier, Echo is supposed to be coming out this year, but they've been running into some production issues. So perhaps maybe that show might get delayed. I don't know. We will see. It's supposed to be a summer show, so obviously they've still got time. But yeah, so fingers crossed. We'll see. Hopefully things work out for them. All right, another movie. Let's see here. Oh, yeah. The spring, this one, Dungeons & Dragons Honor Amongst Thieves. The trailer for this one looks fun. This is the D&D movie that D&D fans have wanted because just in that short trailer were all sorts of Easter eggs dropped for all kinds of creatures and just fun D&D things in this. And of course, a nice cast led by Christopher Pine. Michelle Rodriguez is in here. So, yeah. Hugh Grant also. I don't know if he's playing the villain or, what, but yeah. Hugh Grant in a D&D movie. Who would have thought? But yeah, it looks fun. I can't wait for this one. Of course, this one should be later in the summer. John Wick 4. I love these movies. They, absolutely have kind of reinvented the American action film. Of course, taking a little bit from Asian cinema as well. Some influence from there, but the style of this, the way the violence and the fight scenes are choreographed, just the visual treat that this is, just absolutely love it. Of course, Keanu. I mean, come on, you can't go wrong with that guy. So can't wait for that one. I think that's a summer movie. Let's see, another summer one, Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning Part 1. Yes, absolutely. I've enjoyed the Mission Impossible films. Of course, this is the last ride for Ethan Hunt. So this is going to be a two-parter. This one coming out, this summer, and then apparently the second part coming out next year or 2024. So yeah, I can't wait for that one. Of course, this one coming out a little earlier. I think June, I believe, is when this one's due. Of course, the first full trailer, we got a teaser earlier in the year, but now we have our first full trailer of Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse Part 1. Yeah. When we got our first little tease, it was just like, hey, we get a sequel to, Spider-Verse. That's Enter the Spider-Verse. Fantastic. Just love that animated film. But yeah, apparently this one's going to be a two-parter. So yeah, that's that. Thank you. As much as I've enjoyed the recent live action Spider-Man films with Tom Holland, that first animated film, it really, really took me by surprise. Yeah, at first I was like, I don't know about the animation style. It's a little, I don't know. I wasn't sure, but then just, I let it just take over, and it was an absolutely joyous movie and a great one to take the kids to as well. It's like some of the other, superhero movies can have a little more, not quite, explicit stuff, but just a little more adult stuff, a little more grown up sort of thing like that. But this one, it's kind of like a nice blend for the adults, for the kids. Great stuff here. Really highly recommend. If you've never seen Enter the Spider-Verse, gotta check that one out. It's out on Blu-ray. Not sure where it is streaming currently, but yeah, definitely worth checking out. Of course, wrapping up the year for 2023, and this one's going to be an epic, folks. Can't wait for this one. Dune Part 2. Dennis Villeneuve, something French. I'm sorry, I'm massacring your name, sir. Absolutely love this guy's done so far. The Arrival was just kind of very poetic. His Blade Runner sequel, never in a million years would I thought I would have enjoyed a Blade Runner sequel, because there's no way you could top the original. He did a fantastic job with that one. Highly recommend checking that one out with a really good sound system too. Blade Runner 2049 is a loud movie. They use a lot of sound, but that's to its benefit. Just a fantastic visual treat here. Then we get to Dune Part 1, which was released last year. And man, that was just fantastic. Again, another visual treat, really getting into the depths of the book a lot more than the 80s film does. and just really just doing a fantastic job on the world of Dune, and a great cast in there. So looking very forward, because I mean, like, part one was good, but like a lot of of course, the main action obviously will be happening here in the second part, because we barely just got started. Like, I mean, we wrapped things up in part one. Paul and his mother had just gotten in touch with the Fremen, because they are on their own, and the royal family has been attacked. So yeah. So the things are just getting warmed up for Dune. So yeah, looking very forward to that one. That's coming out, I believe, November 5th. So we got ways for that one, because that's, again, coming closer to Christmas. But yeah, looking very, very forward to that one as well. So, but again, I want to know what you guys think, are looking forward to. What other shows or movies that maybe something I didn't talk about. Because I'm up for some good stuff as well. So I don't think we've got another season of Cobra Kai next year. I'm not 100% sure, because I finally just got caught up on that stuff. So I'm looking forward to season 6, whenever that's going to happen. But yeah, so yeah, lots of good things to come for next year. Of course, lots of Marvel stuff. DC's a little light so far. Of course, we know we got Shazam coming out in March. But other than that, Washington, we do have another season of Peacemaker coming out. So don't have a date on that one just yet. So fingers crossed we'll get that one in the near future as well. So, because really enjoyed first season. Again, a surprising show. Didn't think I was going to enjoy it that much. But yeah, a great job there. Very a much more enjoyable series than I thought it was going to be. There a lot of fun in that one there. So yeah, and of course I love what James Gunn did with the DC universe, basically between that series and his Suicide Squad film. He's already started kind of building his DC universe. So there's some nice world building in those two projects there. So I'm very excited to see what he's got coming for next year, because we're supposed to be getting some announcements, kind of what their plan's going to be, what their release schedule kind of looks like, for right now. Of course, it will be very tentative, but kind of what their overall plan is going to be, what some of their projects are going to be coming up in the next few years, be it, film, be it TV, or even video games as well. They kind of want to get everything connected together. So I don't know. Well, I'm again looking very forward to seeing what he's going to do. But just let's get something here, because right now we've got a lot of people online, complaining. They aren't getting their ways. They don't like the change, whatever else. But obviously we got to start something new, something fresh, because we got some new management in here. But we can maybe keep some of the building blocks we've had before. So again, I trust what he's going to do, so we'll see here. Anywho, so if you haven't get to join us live here, all right. A little glitch there. Love that. Anywho, so again, that will wrap us up here for this evening and for 2022 here. So last show of the year. There you go. So next year, new show, all that good stuff, and lots of fun things hopefully to talk about next year. So yeah, like I said, waiting for all kinds of announcements and everything like that. So yeah, we will see what's going to happen and what sort of fun things we can expect. Of course, I'll get my popcorn ready to go for the movie theaters. I'm going to be there a lot next year. So anyway, so you all have yourselves a wonderful weekend, the rest of the week, and definitely be safe out there. Happy New Year. Enjoy yourselves, but be responsible about there. Hope everybody comes back safe and not mangled and whatever else. So you all have yourselves a wonderful New Year, and I will see you next time on the Fanatic Forum.